Hi, happy homemakers. This is mummy life. When you've been sick for over a week and you're just trying to get the kids' asses out the door to school and try feed them, try do the washing, it can be very overwhelming. Just leave it. Today I'm feeling a little bit better, but I've got a lot to do. So I think the main priority is getting something on that can last me a day or two, food-wise. Trying to get the washing folded, even if it's not put away, so we know whose pile is who. And a bit of hoovering and dusting, because this hurts. And if there's dog hair or cat hair floating up in the air, it's gonna mess up all of this. So we have some mess made. Not too bad here. My sister's been coming in, which is great. We lasted her. Table, and I have a wash on and a wash drying. This is folded, but that is not. So I'm going to start by getting this folded into the piles, and then I'm going to get something nice on for the dinner, maybe an Irish stew, an oxtail stew, something comforting, get some soda bread, and comfort myself a bit of TLC. Let's get going. Now that I've folded all the washing, my brain doesn't work at the moment. I should have just shoved all the washing on the clothes horse and then folded it onto the chairs instead of having piles fall on top of me, having to refold stuff. So I'm just going to put all this stuff onto the chairs like a normal person. And then I'll figure out when I want to bring it upstairs. Gonna give my hands a quick wash before I start cooking. Don't worry, nobody's worrying me food. You won't touch my towels. Yeah, so I'm gonna make stew. You can use any type of meat. You can use any type of meat, like red meat for stew. Usually I have steak pieces and I will braise them or I will pressure cook them for half an hour. But the first thing we need to do, if you want a thick, luscious stew that's going to last you a few days, is we're going to steep some barley. Okay? Now I have a packet of barley. I got some barley. You can get barley anywhere. You can get a soup mix. Just all the same things really. I usually soak the barley to kind of get rid of the starch a little bit. You do not need much. This will last you months and months, this big bag of barley, right? So we're going to get a cup and we're going to put a few teaspoons of this and I'll add it up and get going. So I have a plastic tub thing. Doesn't matter what you have, a bowl, a cup, a mug, a bottle, doesn't matter, right? So I'm going to start scooping. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6 soup spoons full of barley. It doesn't look like much in here, but I have a huge pot. Okay, so the smaller the pot, the smaller the amount, because it swells and it takes all that liquid space. You'll probably look at me and go, how much liquid are you putting in that? This is a you know, this is a big pot, really. Max 2 to 3, probably liters in this, which is great. So I have 6 spoons of barley. Now I'm going to fill that up to the top of water. And I'm going to keep stirring it around and rinsing it and stirring it around and rinsing it, right? That's what we're going to do. Water goes all foggy. It's like when you're rinsing rice out before you cook it. You just kind of have to, you don't squeeze it around, you just rinse it. Leave it soaking for a while and then rinse it through, and that'll do it, you know. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to leave that to the side, because you put that in when your meat and all your soups and stuff are in there, and that's what you do. Now, usually I have steak pieces and I braise them off, but I don't have steak pieces. I got my lucky dip in Tesco's last week on the reduced oil on the meat, and we got what should we get? Irish braising joint. Okay, so that went down from €16 to €3. So I got that. They wouldn't be selling it if it wasn't alright. I told you, I defrosted it and I defrosted it. So I'm gonna cut it open. We'll see where she blows. Perfectly fine. And she's a lot of fat on her. But we're gonna cook it with the fat and then we're gonna take it out and pull it apart. So it's a nice big joint of braising beef, right? So I'm gonna pop it in my Instant Pot, or you could just braise it off in a pan with a bit of oil or a bit of water and then let it cook on its own for a little bit. If it's a braising joint, if it's steak pieces, I tend to braise it and let it cook on its own in a closed pot for about 10-20 minutes before I add it to the stews and stuff like that, right? So we're going to get some water on this and then I'm going to pressure cook it. Since I didn't get to use my veg, I had to refrigerate it. Hopefully it's okay, because I wasn't feeling the best. So we've got bags of carrots. Could turn around for this. Clean my fridge out. Bags of carrots, right? Now, if you have fussy kids, you don't need to just leave the carrots whole. And I have onions. None of your business. So I'll take out 2 onions. They're okay. They're not too bad. And, sorry, what was I saying there? I have onions. I have potatoes, potatoes, whatever you want to call them. Barley. And I have the meat. We need some soup. So, I'm just going to use the packets of soup. I have oxtail soup, which is my favourite. Just oxtail soup. 2 big packets of oxtail soup. That will do. With the kids, if they don't like carrots or onions or anything like that, if you froze your carrots or grated them, throw them in there. They will dissolve. I throw the carrots in probably about 20 minutes before I'm serving, so that they're still nice. They still got a good bit of vitamins in them, and the kids know no different. But I am just going to chop and peel these and then throw them in the pot with the meat when it's all done, and the soup and the onions and the barley and anything else you want in it. If you want mushrooms or tomatoes or whatever, but literally your staple is stewed beef or mince in a stew. Simple, cheap and ready to go. Then if you left over next day, add another packet of soup to have some bread, make some dumplings. You know, it just gives you kind of a long-lasting meal, and you'd have bowl after bowl after bowl, fill your belly when you're sick, like me, with a cold. time. I started this morning. I peeled the carrot. I chopped the carrot. You know, not feeling well, so I'm just going to do what I'm doing. The beef was braised. Now this is what I call a luxurious stew. Usually it's just mince and steak pieces. You get them in your butchers or in packs in the supermarket. So I'm after chopping up all the braised beef. It's pressure cooked, so it's cooked. And there is lovely juice in the bottom of the pot left from the meat. The little bit of water. See? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop all the carrots in. And then I'm going to let them sit for 10 minutes in that water. I'm going to turn it on, obviously. Like if you were doing it on a normal pot. Just put it on for 10 minutes with that nice juice. Let them get soft a bit. And then I will add everything else back into the pot. Put it on stew for an hour. So put it on like a medium to high heat. You kind of have to keep an eye on it if it's in the pot in the oven. If it's in one of these, I just put it on the stew setting for half an hour. Go back, stir it, you know. And then put it on a slow cook for a couple of hours. Or if you want to, just put it on for another half an hour of stew. And you can. So I'm going to add the carrots in. Let them cook off in that lovely fatty juice for about 10 minutes. And then I'm going to add everything else in and leave them cook there till I'm ready to have a big bowl of it. A bit of soda bread. Yummy.